Oh, she's standing in for Fernando this week. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Testing 1, 2. Yep, all good.
My face still red.
What?
My face still red.
What? No, it's not. Dude, the color is so off on these. It doesn't even make sense. So don't even worry about it. I mean, that one's different than that one. It looks different on his laptop. I have no idea what any of these things. It's like that's what you get when you buy cheap TVs. Hey guys, if you don't know who this person is sitting next to me, welcome to the show, Mary Lou. You're
Hi,
back.
guys.
What's up, Axeman?
There you go.
Welcome
Everybody.
back to the show.
Hola.
All right, let's all
Just shift.
Yeah, let's all
Just
shift.
shift a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
why
have to
not?
get off.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, so there we go. Get in there, Fernando.
All right, that's it.
Act like we've done this
I
before.
don't bite.
I'm trying.
Okay, close it.
Okay, yeah. Perfect.
Vegas. Who's in Vegas?
Who's in Vegas? I'm in Vegas. All right. Hey, if you've ever wondered
Fernandez,
what
what's up, buddy?
$1,000 worth of plastic looks like, it looks like that.
In the back.
Yeah, it's heavy, and we just didn't have time to deal with it. So when we get plastic in, it comes in 4x8s, then we cut them into 4x4s. We put some of you guys have seen it. We put Sentra, the blown PVC on one side, and then the ABS on the other. Makes life just easier sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yes.
But as you can see, we have a special guest today.
Special guest.
She's back.
Hola. Nando. It's gonna get out.
Did I give you? I gave you a clean wire shirt, right? Did I give you?
No.
I didn't.
You don't like me. You're always single me
Really?
out. I have to go get my own,
All right.
attend the event, get it, bring it over.
Wow.
Have to earn it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man.
Hey, it's not my fault they're late. Trust me. It was not me. He was someone more special than me.
What are you talking about?
There. Mary Lou is making you late. Jeez. See?
No, it wasn't. It was Fernando. Fernando made us late. Actually, it was Jeff Smith that made us late. We had
I
to do
said
some
it's someone more
laser
special.
stuff for him, and then so
Yeah, it is in the way. See?
No, it's not.
That's better.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the handle was like sticking out. Hydro Peak.
Justin
it's-
Silva.
it's-
Hi.
It's
I
not a
haven't seen you
hydro
in
flask.
a long time.
Really?
No, it's a hydro peak.
I see that. It sounds so generic.
It is generic.
Like now Stanley Cup is the apparently Stanley is the new
The cup?
the new metal container.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Living with Haley, get to find out all these cool things. So Stanley mugs are all the rage
You
right
are
now.
lucky to have a teenager teach you things.
She's not a teenager.
I wasn't saying a
She's
teenager,
23.
but a youngster. Sorry, a
She's
youngster.
not young. She's 23.
So
She's
young and
23.
cute.
You
She's
know.
young and cute.
Okay. I was married at 22. She hasn't moved out yet.
And
I'm
you
just
have no idea
saying.
how lucky you are.
Okay.
Leave it alone. She's fine.
Oh no, I'm not complaining too much.
Yeah, you don't need to be running around grandchildren here in the Bay.
Oh no, we got
You're
Sebastian. We got Sebastian. That's
We got
enough,
Sebastian,
man.
that's it.
Exactly.
Oh
Just-
man, that's
just
pretty.
use Sebastian's
We're
grandpa.
gonna all right. So we are gonna answer your questions. However, we are gonna have some fun today because it's. Listen, we get Mary Lou here, and we just all want to enjoy this, right? Hey, so before I answer this question, you got Netflix, right?
Yes.
So what have you been watching?
Nothing really.
What do you? I mean, I know you went on like a Lollapalooza crazy week.
Wednesday something. The Adams Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
show.
you finally
Yeah.
watched that?
Yes.
Did you watch the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Isn't that awesome?
It was cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that
I
was-
liked it.
Yeah, she had personality issues though.
Well, that's
I
why
mean,
it's cool.
but that's how we all
That's
feel,
why
though,
it's
right?
cool.
Aren't we all
can
jealous of
relate.
her?
Yeah.
Oh my
She
god.
had the guts to do what she wanted
She
to
was
do.
the best.
Yeah.
So the sad thing is that the company that produced that show got bought by somebody else, and so it's not coming back to Netflix.
Oh, I thought there
What?
was going to be a second season.
There is going to be a second season.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be on Netflix.
Oh, well,
Oh,
who cares?
it's going to be an HBO.
Probably not HBO. I don't remember which one it's going to be on,
Hmm.
but it's not going to be on
Hulu?
Netflix. Well, that would be Disney. So no.
Yeah, no.
Hey, what's up, Dean and
No.
Fernando? I finally
What's up?
finished my system and my Titan, and I gotta say, I'm glad I got the Morel speakers. The louder you get them, the better they play. I love them,
Very nice,
Cool.
man.
and that is why I'm a
Very
fanboy.
nice.
Cool.
I'm a fanboy.
Yeah.
Have you ever got to hear Morels?
I have
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Junior's car,
Oh
a
yeah.
Master Tech.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yes,
Junior's
that's
car.
right. He
Yeah,
has,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Casey Junior built Casey's car,
Mm-hmm.
so. And I always pick on him. I go, man. Actually, it was funny because at this year's Master Tech,
Uh-huh.
Junior and his dad were standing there, and they're all behind Casey's car. Casey, you guys know Casey's, and I go, I looked at you and I said, dude, could you have at least tried? I mean, could you have at least tried? I mean, this looks like shit. You did such a terrible job. I mean, come on. And his dad is just laughing. And Junior's over there going, Junior, being timid that he is, he's like, what are you? I'm like, and I just let him have it. I was just like, yeah, this looks like garbage. I mean, and have you heard this thing?
So,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
so they staying in there, and another guy from the industry, goes in the car, and he's like, oh wow, that's nice. And then it's like, it's just so simple, These guys made it, something simple.
Oh, so
in there.
basic.
So basic.
Oh yeah.
And,
Dean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because actually, it's funny. Next week, you guys will get that car because we filmed it.
Yeah.
At the same time, we filmed Mike's car,
Mhm.
Mike Rios' car.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna edit that, get that out for everyone to watch next week. So you guys will get
300 or the Genesis? Which one?
Casey's car, the
It's a
VW.
VW,
So
right.
Mike's was the 300 that we
Mhm.
put out this week.
Right.
And then he used to have a Stinger. He got
Mhm.
rid of the Stinger, got the 300. But in Vegas, we got to make 2 videos, and 2 videos only. One was Mike's car, and the other one was Casey's car.
Got it.
So,
Mhm.
and Mike is a hard guy to follow. So
Mhm.
don't expect Casey to be as exciting as Mike is. 'Cause, like Mike, that's why I said to Mike, I said, "You want a job?"
He's pretty cool.
He's
pretty
great. I would,
Yeah.
if I could just have Mike go to like every car, talk to
Mhm.
people, find out about it, and then I just interview Mike about
There
the
you
car.
go.
Like that would be awesome.
He can be the spokesperson for you.
Oh, he would be. Well, he does such a good job at it,
Yes. Yes, he
and
does.
I
You should see him at trainings. I have seen him at trainings.
Really?
Yeah. He did what was it?
I've never seen him in training. I don't even think of him like that. Wow.
Audio control
Oh.
training actually.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. Yeah. I like
Oh
him.
man, damn.
Mhm.
Now I want to kind of get him to do a training of some kind so I
Yeah.
can see it.
Mhm. He's your guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go no on that one. Yeah, she loves it, dude. Yeah, no, she just wants her own. She just wants her own. That's just.
Baila bien la Wednesday. Why not give class in your what?
There you go.
Why not give class in your
Odines.
and including Marilu? Oh, I don't know.
Classes.
I mean,
I'll
she,
send my picture.
she works for
We can carry it on.
she works for Metra, and Metra doesn't get her out enough. Apparently, I'm
Well,
not.
I'm not ready yet. I
Yeah,
tell you.
she's young.
Training
she's young.
wheels.
Yeah, she's training.
Training wheels.
Training wheels.
Yeah.
How loud is 91.5 dBs? Not as loud as you would think. I can tell you that right now. Like, you could probably yell and hit 91.5 dB. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
very loud. I mean,
How loud does he yell at
Oh,
Master Tech Expo?
oh, he doesn't
I
yell.
was. I'm
You were
not
yelling.
yelling.
No, you were yelling.
I'm
You
just
forgot you
like-
had
Oh.
the microphone.
Oh yeah. Oh, on the show.
Yeah. He
God,
was
we're still
yelling.
apologizing for that.
Oh
one.
yes, I'm
It
so
was
sorry,
cool.
guys.
I
It
was
just-
happy
hey,
to see that. He was showing how excited he was. So to me, it was pretty awesome.
I was annoying.
Yeah.
I was
well,
just
I mean,
running around, and
so,
I was
so
like,
you had Loud Fernando and Shaky Fro. and I'm
That
in there
was-
going, these guys did a great job
That was the best.
last time.
no, that was a
and-
lie because, like, to be honest, I did a horrible job, and I still
No, you
say
didn't.
I apologize.
Well, no,
it
you
looks-
did not.
it looks like shit. It's like
No.
like Fro is like
Yeah, that's why I said
trying
you
to
had
shake,
Shaky Fro and Loud
and then
Fernando.
me screaming.
He was trying to match your voice. No, you
Probably,
screamed and he was going high,
probably,
you went low, he
yes,
was going
yeah.
low. Right,
but
bro?
anyway,
Is
we
Rocky?
try, and
We failed.
we failed.
No.
And sometimes,
Like-
hey, listen, if you've done over 200 or 2,000
Yes.
shows like we've done,
Mhm.
you're not going to hit it out of the park every
Yeah.
time. As bad as I am about always
It's
trying
alive.
to put out the
It's
best
alive.
content
But you know
possible.
what? This is why. Because you're running around the whole show for 3 days,
Mhm.
and when you were ready to do the show, like something happened, and it's like this, and then you just like, okay, we don't have time. Come on, let's go,
Exactly.
let's go.
That's
So-
what I'm saying. It's alive.
And
Mhm.
and when you go in,
Things
it's
happen.
just like crazy. So,
I enjoyed it. I'm not complaining. It was
But
pretty cool. I can
next
see all
year-
the emotion that you had going through it, and,
Yeah.
and you transmitted to us. So
Yeah.
to me, it was.
but
perfect.
next year is gonna be better. I'm gonna grab
Yeah, we got
the,
everything. We got all the DJI
the
stuff.
DJI
We
and
got the DJI mics this year instead of the Rode
No
mics.
Red Bull for Fro. so he
No
doesn't
Red Bull.
have to
So, yeah,
shake.
exactly.
Well, yeah. Well,
Gonna grab my one.
He was in a hangover probably. He was like, oh, shaky.
We got the Osmo 6.
Yeah, we got that
And
one.
then we got.
You were serious?
Yeah.
I thought you were
I
kidding.
got this so that he won't be shaky.
Yeah.
And I got the
The-
DJI mics.
Yeah.
Because this plugs into the end of the iPhone,
Mhm.
and the meters are right there, so he can see the meters and go like, "Hey,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
chill out, bro."
Gotcha.
So,
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
No,
But anyway,
hey
This-
man,
this
if all
the
it
way
takes is
components
throwing
set up.
money at it to fix it,
oh, I dance.
we'll throw some money at it.
Yeah, I dance.
I don't think there's been a disturbing lack of RAMs, but because it's always, should I do an LC7i or an Amp Pro?
Hmm.
Amp Pro.
Or both.
Oh, you should definitely do both. You should definitely do both. Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
but going back to the question,
Yes.
how many decibels was he? How loud? His loudness. How many decibels was he? Compared to the answer to the
Oh,
question.
91.5. I don't know. I
No, I think-
I don't walk around with a dB meter. Well, actually, you know what I do?
You can guess.
Ooh, if you have an iPhone, you have a dB meter built into it,
There
so
you
you can
go.
you can literally see how loud 91.5 is
See?
on your iPhone.
There you go.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I used to have
we
that
answered
one.
the question.
In
'Cause
the
I used-
iWatch.
Yeah, on the I'm sorry, I meant watch. He's right. I said phone. I meant watch, but I think the phone works too. I don't know how high it goes
Just
I
up
got
to.
it.
tested. Yeah.
But because I had the dB meter on my phone, and when we tune cars,
Mhm.
my phone would start flashing at me,
Right.
going, "You're in a loud environment. Turn it down." I'm going, "I know. I can't hear myself."
Mhm.
So
Even just with the microphone, with the RTA, you just talk or something, loud noise comes by or something, and
Yeah.
you can see it going.
yeah,
Same thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh man, I
What?
got the new I got the newest beta version of the audio control software yesterday.
Ooh.
I haven't.
The
You
new
didn't-
one.
And you say it now.
Yeah, I haven't.
You
well-
could have told me before. We could
Well,
have
no.
minutes to spare.
So here's the funny part. I haven't. Jeff gave it to me yesterday, and it's still sitting on my computer. I haven't uploaded it into my computer yet.
Oh.
Which is kind of
Speaker
sad.
show it's 99.5. Are you able to push them?
My speaker shows
There.
91.
Why don't we clip on? Why don't we actually
There you go.
put it up there so we can all see it?
There you go.
Okay.
You got it?
Well,
Oh,
All right,
No, do it.
one,
Go for
one
it.
at a
Go for
time.
it.
No, sorry,
for it.
sorry.
One at a time. Okay. My speaker shows it's 91.5 dB at 2.8 or 2.83 volts. Are you able to push them to play even louder without damaging the speaker? All right, I think I get what you're reading is some of the specs inside of the speaker. All right, so the reality is loudness is a direct result of the signal you're feeding them in that. So let's just take a 6.5. Okay. So if we take like a big deep 6.5, like a Rockford T2, and then we take like a set of Pioneer TSAs, real shallow or whatever. And the Rockford handles, let's say 75 watts. This one's going to tap out at 50 watts. We both know that that's kind of BS, right? So
technically, yes.
because you're looking at most of the time when they give a full power rating on the speaker, it's from whatever the frequency range the speaker is capable of playing. Sometimes it's 20 to 20, sometimes it's 50 to 40,000, sometimes it's 5 to 10 K. So that's its power rating within that band. Now we're going to put a crossover on it, which means we're going to shrink that band. And anytime we put the crossover on, we shrink that, we actually increase the power capability that it's capable of handling because we're limiting the movement of the driver. Not to say that we can take a speaker that's rated at 50 watts and put 5,000 watts on and like, oh, this is great.
Right.
But you can increase the amount of power you put to it, thus increase the volume by adding the crossover and limiting the performance of the driver and shrinking the range of its capabilities, which we've all done, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's why, like, a guy come back and he's like, man, my speaker's blue. And you go and you turned off the crossover. Well, they sounded better. Yeah, but they're not going to play. So I guess the way to think of this is if you change the parameters of the speaker with either EQ or crossover, you can thus increase the volume. Might not be in a way you like, meaning it could distort,
Well, you're
or
increasing it.
or it could sound weird. But that's that's what you're looking to do there.
So should they look at the decibels or the watts
I don't ever
to
look at the
qualify the
decibels.
performance of the
I
speaker?
use my ears
Yeah.
because if you hear it distorting, then you know you're doing.
But
something
remember, our
bad.
fans really don't,
okay, I think we all know when things don't sound right. I mean,
Yeah, when you start hearing that crackling noise or something, just turn
I
it
mean,
down.
it's the guy that blows his speakers blew his speaker. He knew he blew his speakers because he was doing something he knew he shouldn't have done. Very rarely the speaker just. I mean, it happens. Sometimes it's like it'll be just playing and playing and playing, and it stops, and you're like, "Oh shit, that was wrong."
Yeah.
What'd you do with the high 10? Oh man, I should have come by and hang out today. Well, you got too much work to do. That's really you just got too much work to do. What was the high 10 question?
I'm coming.
Okay.
I just saw it, Jeff, so that's why.
For a foreigner, would you still use the Maestro RR with the Stinger high 10? Yes. I would just use it as a standalone unit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would still, because okay, so a lot of people go, oh, I can't use an RR because the radio is not RR compatible, and that drives me crazy. Because the reality is, yeah, you can.
Yeah, especially when half of the radios are not compatible with
Right,
it.
it's just a smart harness. The only thing you're losing is now you're not doing your digital connection. So you still go wire to wire for steering wheel controls instead of
That's
digital.
what I was thinking. What would be the purpose, just for the steering wheel control?
Well, no, you still okay. So a smart module, regardless of brand, smart module, yours, Metras, not yours, but access, steering wheel control output, sometimes illumination, reverse, VSS, vehicle speed sense, emergency brake, and that's basically it. Okay,
Right.
So all of those wires are what come out of a smart harness, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's an access, a pack, or an IDATA RR. The only difference is if all three of those will do that.
Buenas tardes, señor.
The difference is if you have an RR and an RR compatible radio, you'll add the extra features. Oh, El Fernandez is in the house.
Is that his name?
El Fernandez.
El Fernandez.
Okay, El Fernandez.
You'll add the benefit of going digital in, and you don't have to hook up the steering wheel control wire, and you'll get the gauges, and you'll get the tire pressure and all that other
and then
stuff.
if eventually you upgrade to a radio later on that has it, you already
he's getting a high 10 though. There's no reason to upgrade that. Now, depending on the Toyota, the Tacoma will come as a all-in-one package. So if you're doing a Tacoma, the Tacoma has there's a high 10 Tacoma package. It comes with the dash kit and the harness. I don't know which Toyota you had. I don't know if it said that, but if I was doing a Tacoma, I would just buy the high 10 Tacoma kit.
Right.
That would be me. But if I'm not, then yeah, I would.
Yeah, for sure. I check,
RR.
of course, check pack audio and see what's available for your Toyota, and that would blend all together. All right.
Well, look at all the options and find the one that you like the best.
I did.
I second that one.
I
used it a lot in my installations.
Yeah, I mean,
I used it all the time when I could.
The steering wheel and the steering wheels alone is okay. Even
El Fernandez, what's up, buddy? That's awesome.
IDATA, anytime you have a module, it immediately hooks up to a laptop, or if you have an RR2, you hook it up to your phone. Either way, it immediately gets flashed to the car. It downloads the most current software. You program your steering wheel controls, and gives you the instructions, the most up-to-date instructions they have. All right. There's no paper in the box that tells you what to do.
Right.
It's so the failure rate on an IDATA piece is minimal because it's always the latest firmware. So basically what happens is if today I do an IDATA piece, I call them and I tell them, hey, this doesn't work. And they go, no problem. They push a fix for it. They can push that fix out to their server. And then tomorrow, let's say Jaime out in California, he goes to flash his mod. He's getting the updated firmware that fixes the problem that I had. So it's done. Whereas everybody else, hey man, I got an issue. Oh, bro, that sucks. All right, we'll get on that. Okay. And then a week from now,
it's a different monster.
But
it's not.
But I go to all of those guys. I go to PAC, I go to Access, and I say, for the love of God, like 90% of your problems are it's out of date software because it's been or firmware because it's been sitting on my shelf for 2 weeks.
Well, that's why you update them before you use them.
Yeah, but your updater sucks. Not yours, theirs. Their updater shit. So why don't we just skip the step and here's a box and a harness.
Yeah.
You have to tell it what it's
But
doing.
everything is firmware, and you know that. Even with our phones.
100%.
Even with our phones, the same thing.
Right. Well, and I updated a firmware. Yeah, it's like, God, it just pisses me off because it's like, for the love of God.
Marranitos. I don't even know what that is.
2023.
It's bread. Really?
No.
Bread?
Las conchas, sí, of course.
Yeah.
I love
here we
them.
go.
There's bread.
Tacos.
Like, they talking about bread.
Yeah, 3 tacos and a beer. That will cut it.
Hello, guys. I just bought the DS1 Rockford Fosgate. Do some configurations, and it won't let me. It won't let me alone. Can I use the configuration of this? What the heck?
So, all right, bought the DSR1.
Yeah, I was trying
Do
to figure
some
out.
configurations. It won't let me. It doesn't let him do configurations. Can I use a different one? Different software? I'm guessing it's like software issue in the DSR1.
So okay. So here's the deal. Anytime you get a DSR1, if you have a Windows machine, it makes it easier. You go to iData and you download how you're going to use it, whether it's going to be an AR application or a standalone. So you flash it for that. On the same page, actually, when you plug it in, the first thing you do is scroll to the bottom of the page and do the Bluetooth firmware update, because you resync that. After it does that, you hit redetect. Then you tell it what you're going to do. If it's not going as AR, you can pick 2023, and it's standalone. Okay. Then when you're done with that, you go and download Rockford's updater, and you grab the latest firmware and you update it for that.
See, there we go. Update.
Yeah.
It's 2 updates
There's
that you have to
3
do.
updates that you have to do.
With the Bluetooth.
Okay,
yeah.
2 in iData, 1 in Rockford. And you have to do that anytime you use it. If you pull it out of the box and go to use it, it's not configured properly.
Right.
So no matter how you're going to use it, whether it's iData, AR, or standalone, it still has to be flashed. Every DSP has to connect, and it won't do it over Bluetooth. So if you haven't done that, then there's kind of, now if you're talking about, so once you get that done, then you open up the DSR1 and you tell it the car that you're putting it in, and then you select iData or standalone, and then you select, is the base knob connected? If it's a standalone, you say high level or low level, and then if it's high level, there's a switch. If it's low level, you make sure it's on low. It tells you the switch. Are you going to do digital, no digital? And then it gives you configurations. It's got 8 outputs, and those configurations, there's like front rear sub, front tweeter, front mid, rear sub.
They give you options for depends of the
there's
system.
never that's it. Those are the only options you get. Now, if you're trying to turn on all 8, pick any option that turns on all 8. When you go into the crossover, you can then tell it what it's actually going to do. But you can't you can't do, like, then it gets weird, like time alignment. So like you can't separate 7 and 8. It's very peculiar, but that's
So I
about
guess the 101 of technology. Anything that has to do with technology, firmware upgrade before anything else. That saves you headaches.
Yeah,
It's not going to prevent them all, but it saves you headaches.
Yeah, so just try the firmware update from, like Dean say, iData and Rockford.
Well, it's not even really an update; it's a programming. I mean, a
basically
firmware update
programming,
describes
yeah.
like it needs a firmware update. It just needs to be programmed.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun. It's fun. Yay.
Yeah. One thing about a system I don't like is always changing the EQ settings because the way of the music is recorded. I think I need a DSP or a preamp EQ, but I still love it. Love it.
Man, that and that is
DSP.
well, okay.
So
What
he
though?
can have his presettings, right?
Yeah,
He has the presetting for this type of music and the second presetting for this type of music. It's not going to solve all the problems, but it's going to be more coherent.
okay.
Oh yeah.
That's what I see.
Well, okay. So I look at it like maybe get a DSP to fix the underlying problems that the car is having. Okay, so meaning get everything to a point.
Right.
Okay, where it's like a good
General.
curve, a general curve.
Mhm.
And then if you have a radio that has presets built into it, you could make 2 or 3 presets for that, because trying to change presets on a DSP every time a song
No,
comes
that's
on,
what I that was what I
that's like
talking
5 seconds
Right.
of And that's because it's got to rewrite it every time it does that. That's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, no. Just the presets.
The other thing too is I feel like with the DS, because like when we do a DSP, very rarely do people ever change it because it's like it just sounds good. I mean, for example, like your home stereo. Your home stereo just plays, right?
You know, have a home stereo. I have a soundbar, right, guys?
Well, I have a home stereo, but the thing is like it just sounds so.
Should I tell him?
So here's my thought. Here's how I look at it: is you get the sound to be the way you want it, and then the music plays. Music is going to sound different because of the way the music is recorded,
right?
Okay, and also the type of music it is.
Different eras.
Hip hop is going to sound way different than classical music. So if I'm just trying to make everything sound like Y, then it's no longer the music. You know what I mean? It's
right,
just
but
it's
I want to
me
enjoy.
forcing the issue.
What's up, Bobby?
But I want to enjoy my Frank Sinatra Sunday right music.
No, but what
totally different from my hip hop gangster rap of that week.
Wait, why? What do you mean? You're going to want more bass.
Right.
Adjusting the volume of the bass is not changing the tonality of the speakers.
Right, but how it sounds is completely different. We're talking about two different genres.
No, but what I'm saying is a speaker sounds like it sounds. Okay, like it just makes this sound. Okay.
Right.
If I EQ it to the car, but let the characteristics of the speaker be itself. So like I'm not going to go in there and like a Focal. Focal sounds a certain way. Rockford sounds a certain way. Else sounds. The object of a DSP is not to pull that out. It's going to play what it does. It's to let them play the way they're supposed to sound, but adjust for the car's interior.
Let's just stick to the precedents, right? Bottom line.
Well, what I'm getting at is if you got it to sound the way it's supposed to, okay, meaning take the car out of the equation, why would I need presets? I get it. Like, yeah, I know, but there again, reasonable presets, like one that boosts the bass. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to listen to hip hop. I want more bass. Fine. Right. You know, but that's a subwoofer volume control. You know, I'm going to listen to talk radio, one that cuts bass and treble so that
talk radio.
Podcast.
You are old.
I'm going to listen to some podcast. I don't know. Okay, that's my thought. Whatever. I see. X-Man has a home stereo.
Yeah,
everyone has a home stereo.
You get it to sound good for the room, and you just let it play out.
I just think, yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. All right.
Epicenter Mini.
All right. Let me have it. Throw the next one up there.
All right.
Hi, gents and lady. Good evening. Got a little question. Genesis amplifier made in England. Yep. Available in the States? Don't know. If so, any experience? Picked up 2, used 4-channel, tested it, and sounds good. I heard them when I was overseas. A lot of people overseas really like them, but no, there hasn't been a distributor that has successfully dealt with them here in the U.S. It happens. What? You should bring them in.
Right?
Yeah. What do you got? You got one?
Someone's mocking you.
That's okay. It's my opinion. I don't have.
They're mocking us.
Yeah.
They're mocking you guys. I'm young.
Now you're gonna be part of it. I see.
Look at Axeman. There you go. I don't even change the volume. That's because you broke it off all the way up.
You cannot be my friend.
Oh, he's
totally
not
be my friend.
That's why we have the Voss water bottles. That's
it. That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Not just being stupid.
I mean, that's really hard for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very hard. Extremely. It's
the
most difficult
thing
in my life.
Right there. Can I use a kicker hideaway with a kicker key 204?
Yeah.
And then this is the follow-up.
When you use the key front stage only, what happens when you add OEM head unit bass and treble for the rears? You won't have a crossover on them, so they will distort. If you want to fix that, you could easily add a capacitor in there on the rear speakers. Have you ever done that?
No.
Best Buy, that was a Best Buy trick from back in the day. They'd sell you a new radio, and then they'd sell you 4 capacitors. So you could pick up like a 99 microfarad cap or a 68 microfarad cap, depending on how you want to block the bass. But while you have the radio out, you could add those into the positive lead for the radio or for the outputs to the rears, and that'll add a 6 dB crossover to the rear speakers so that when you do add bass and treble, they're not back there dying. The smaller the number, the higher the crossover. Don't go 47 because that's like a 3.5. Somewhere between 50 and 99 would be a good point. And so what Best Buy used to do is that this is before radios had crossovers, back in the dark time before the Empire. Anyways, so you'd pull this radio out and there'd just be install bay, giant capacitor bank jammed in the dash, and you'd be like, oh.
Like the regular capacitors that I know? Like
No.
Look like
Base blockers. Base blockers.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
I'm with you now. Okay.
You know them as base blockers. We call them capacitors.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Got them base blockers? You got them by nines?
I know which ones you're talking about now.
Okay. Hey guys, what's the best three-way component setup? Focal, Hertz, Morel? Your preference?
The one that you enjoy.
There's three totally different speakers, and actually we sell all three of those for the specific reason is each one of those sounds different than the other. And depending on the client that we're talking to, we're going to pick the one that best suits what he describes to us. And how we figure that out is, and they go in that order: Focal, Hertz, Morel. So that's the sliding rule there. Focal is a very dynamic. Now, volume is not something to be confused here because volume is the same. All these speakers are very loud, but it's when they're loud, they're again what we've been talking about, equalization.
Right.
If we tune a car to sound exactly the same, then why? Who cares what speakers we go with? You know, these speakers have characteristics that make them unique. Focal has a hard dome tweeter. It's very dynamic. It's very loud. They have high crossover points. That tweeter just like, I'm a Focal, baby. Speaking of Focal.
Oh, we are like very too late, brother.
No, it's never too late.
Yeah, it's never too
Something like a K2 Power M would be awesome.
Yes.
Okay, it's fantastic. Now they have a wideband tweeter. They're first that I know of in the 12-volt industry to market a wideband tweeter. But there again, and then on the flip side, you have Morel. Big silk soft dome tweeter has a really more, there again, subdued sound maybe. I don't know. Very naturally, so it's very natural. Smooth is a word a lot of people use. I like to refer to it as non-really, but there again, some people, I like to refer to tweeters as breaking glass. When I'm watching the Terminator 2 and I shoot the guy, Focal's is going to make it sound like, yeah.
Oh, I love
And Morel's
that.
don't do that. So, and I know because I have them in my house and when I've watched the movie, I go, man, that's not breaking glass. But that's what I like. So, and then right in the middle there is the Hertz, where it's not too much of this, not too much of that.
How about, you have one?
Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
How about that one?
So it looked like the same question.
Hi guys, replacing the whole system in my son's 2004 Subaru livery with McIntosh. Anything that he should know, or she, about this system, or issues to look out for?
It's 2004 Subaru. The only thing you ever run into on a Subaru is whether it has the external box for the telematics system. With the factory radio, they have that. I don't remember what it's, Blue Link or Starlink. If it has that, really the only thing that you run into on a Subaru is that nightmare, and I don't know if they had that back in 2004. I don't think they did. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Pull the radio out, put a new radio in, hook your amplifiers up, and call it a day.
El Fernandez Garcia. I'm gonna go with Garcia, buddy, just because.
No. I mean, it sounds wonderful. Go for it.
Yeah.
Be careful. Go slow. It's always, the thing is always go slow. Go slow. Take your time.
Yeah.
I have an audio control LC6 1200 and an LC 1.8 with the DSR1. The question I have is crossovers on the amplifier. How should they be set when using the DSP? That is a great question. And I ran into that one recently. We don't use a lot of the LCs. I prefer to go with the D, baby. And I know, right?
Yeah.
You
have to.
Why do they use D? Anyways, I get it. All right. So if you can't shut the crossover off, which on these you typically can't, you want to go and you want to use the crossover on the DSP. What do you do? You don't know?
What do we do?
Really?
Tell us.
Okay. So if I was going to cross the subwoofer over at 80, I want to set the one on the amplifier up to 200.
Okay.
Because that means that whatever the crossover is on the amplifier, it's so high, it's like not even having a crossover. That way I can dial in the subwoofer crossover, my DSP, to whatever I want. And the same is true for the highs. Let's say I'm going to cross the highs over at 80. I would put them to, let's say, 20 or lower, whatever the lowest number I could, so that I get the most signal coming out of the amplifier in.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then the crossover, or then when the DSP comes in with its crossed over signal, the one on the amplifier is not affecting it. So that's all. You just, if you can't shut them off, you just turn them the opposite way, so that the most amount of signal is coming out of the amplifier, and the signal coming into it will be actively crossed over and won't get in the way.
All right. So how was the system set up in the Coyote Mustang? Will you be able to use the Alpine amplifier to run a 3-way active, maybe with DSP?
Yeah. So the one of the Coyote was there again. Anytime we build a system for the customer and what the customer wants and what his criteria is. If you came to me and you had a Mustang and you were like, hey, I want to go full active system. Well, then we know, okay, we need 6 channels for the front, 2 channels for the rear, and a subwoofer. So at that point, we look at, okay, what DSP do we want to do? Originally, we were going to do a DSR1 into the Mustang, because the Mustang will take a DSR1 from keeping the factory radio if it has the amplified premium amplified system. So we can just plug in, it's all good. The DSR1 is capable of doing 8 channels of output. Well, we have 10 channels. If we want to do 10 channels of output. So the DSR1 won't allow us to do a 3-way active set. So we can use the DSR1 as a preamp only, and we can go front, rear, and sub out to a better DSP that has 10 channels of audio, like the Alpine, for example, because the Alpine 850X has 12 channels or 10 channels of sound. It's either 10 or 12. It's got a lot. And it has 6 channels of input. So we can go into an Alpine, that amplifier, and then we could take the 90, which we had in there, put that front, rear, do tweeter, mid bass. If we didn't want to buy an amp for the rear, we could use one of the 825 watt per outputs from the 850 Alpine DSP and power up the rears with 25 watts. Or we could do, depending on what sub we want, we could do the 4-channel amp, and we could run it 3-channel mode, where we power the 2 rear speakers, let's say maybe a 10 or a 12 in the trunk. Or if we said, screw that, I want 25 watts on the rear, and I want to do the mono block to go to, let's say, 2 10s or 2 12s, and we can do that as well. So there you go. The nice thing about that particular amplifier is that how we ran it in the Mustang is we ran it a little different. We ran it at a 4-channel. So we took channels 1 and 2 and bridged it to the left. They gave us 200 watts. 3 and 4 went to right. They gave us 200 watts. Then 5 and 6, like 125 watts of output, which is nice in a 6-way mode, because then it's staggered power. Channels 1 through 4 are less power than 5 and 6. One of my favorite things. But in this case, we had lots of power for the front, lots of power for the rear, passive crossovers up where the factory amplifier went, and 2 subs in the trunk. So, and we put a new radio in. Now, you could put a new radio in it, negate the DSR1. You could still do the same system where you have the Alpine DSP in there. There's a million ways to do these.
Yeah.
Will the Audison SR 4.300 have enough power to support the Mille Pros components and the coaxials?
The answer to the question is yes. The question that you want to ask, though, is will it be loud enough? Okay, because
I was going to say, is it going to
right?
starve? Is it going to starve?
Well, no, it's not going to starve. It won't starve. Speakers don't starve. A speaker will play with 1 watt, a speaker will play with 10 watts, and a speaker will play with 100 watts. The question is, will it be loud enough?
Exactly.
So it's not starving.
Well,
you're starving. The speakers are only going to remember, speakers are reactive. Right. So it's just like you don't blow a subwoofer. You know, it's a 2,000 watt subwoofer. You put 1,000 watts on it, you're going to blow it. No, you're not. You're going to blow it because you turned the gain up too high. And that's how you blew it, because you were distorting the hell out of it. Yeah. So is that enough power to power those speakers? Yes. Is that enough to give you what you're looking for? I can't answer that, because I don't know how loud you can get out of the speaker. Yeah. So it's a decent amount of power. I think it's like 75 watts, which is plenty of power for those speakers. But depending on how loud you want to play it, that's where it comes in. You might want 2 of those. I don't know. So, Pioneer has come
has come with amplifiers that have smaller footprint and better components. Have you worked with them yet?
No.
And I don't think we're going to.
We're not going to. Well, the only one we've okay. They make the white 6-channel that is a clone of the JL, and we've worked with that one.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
No. The thing is like there's so many other amps.
Oh, so many. So that's why we
Plenty.
just continue with another
Plenty.
question. Question: what integration wiring will you recommend for adding an amplifier on a 2022 Chevy Tahoe high country with the Bose system?
Okay, this is a great question, and I'm going to answer it in 2 ways depending on your sanity. Okay,
Ooh.
so Access makes an interface for that vehicle. All right, and it sounds amazing. Like it plugs in and it sounds, oh my God, great. It's got a DSP built into it you don't have to use. It controls your chime volume, sensors, everything. We did a review on it, or an unboxing. We showed you how to test to see how everything works. We just did that like 2 weeks ago. Sounds
when I was on vacation.
Fabulous. Yeah. However, as of right now, there is one flaw with it. And that is that we found that if you turn the car off and you go run into the Pickwick or wherever your quick store is, and you're in there for 10 minutes, and you come back out and you start up your car, you have a 50-50 chance of your audio coming back on. If it doesn't come back on, you have to unplug the unit, plug it back in, then it'll come back on. It has to reset. So there's some form of an issue there that at some point I'm sure they'll figure out. Okay. Now, the nice thing is we also found out when it does that, it doesn't negate any of your chimes. So your backup sensors still work, your lane departure warnings still work, all that stuff. Now, it never has cut out when you're driving. So once it's on, and it just works. It's just every now and then, that's the one glitch it has. Is it worth it? In my world, oh yeah, because it sounds 100% better than trying to fix that Bose system. Yeah. Now, if you want to integrate into the Bose system, there's a couple different ways you can do it. For one, get a badass amplifier with an amazing DSP built into it so you can deal with the crap that comes from the Bose system. That's one way to deal with it. Something like a ARC, Forza,
ARC.
Anyways, or Odyssey, Forza. Anyway, you deal with that. The second way to do it after that is what we call power for power, meaning there's already a DSP in it. It's called Bose. It already has speakers in it. They're doing what they need to do. You can easily match holes for holes. So, for example, in the dash is like a 2.5-inch mid-range. Get a high-end set of 2.5-inch mid-range, put them in there, get an amplifier, put it on those, make them louder, okay? The sound will change because of the characteristics of the new speaker you're putting in there. Good or bad or good, I don't know. Now, if you have a DSP'd amplifier that is going channel for channel, meaning you got 9 channels of output, you put 9 channels of power in there with 9 bands of equalization, you can screw with the equalization. However, with a more inexpensive DSP. Don't sum, whatever you do, don't sum. So don't sum the mid bass or mid range in the mid bass. Don't sum them together. No, it's not going to work unless you have an amplifier there again that can deal with those problems.
Can handle that.
You can also get Kicker key locks. Kicker makes the key lock, and you can put a key lock on every channel that you want to use. The reason why I use a key lock is the key lock can deal with the nonsense that the factory Bose has put on it. Now, you also need load resistors on this, unless you do their piece, the access piece. Green audio control load resistors, or the LGDs, you have to use those because it has a timed output. It might be immediate on a 2022, but I know on some of the older ones, as soon as about 2 days, 3 days, the audio cuts off, and then you got to reset it. Whereas if you just put a load resistor on, you wouldn't have that problem. So anyways, there you go. It's a lot of fun. Yay.
So it has your seal of approval.
I heard Bose was the best sound system out there. That's funny because Sage called me Thursday. He goes, "Hey man, have you heard the 2023 Sierra yet?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Sounds like shit." He goes, I don't know how they're charging people for this. Like, it's so bad. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've heard every other one.
So what happened? Because it's true, Bose used to be great. So what
So-
happened? What changed?
Bose has never been great. Okay.
Well, maybe when we didn't know better, we thought it was great.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean,
and
okay.
actually, let's go back. It's great or better than the entry level crap that comes on OEM, right?
Yes.
So
100%.
based on
Sometimes.
that spectrum, is great.
Yes, it's definitely an upgrade.
But now it's worst. Sounds
So
like
if you go back to the 80s and 90s when they actually used the Bose three-hole speaker, that
Mhm.
was Bose. That was Bose's speaker.
right.
That was theirs. Like when you bought the home cabinets that had like, is the air conditioning off?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sounds like, feels like. When it had like the array of speakers in it, so it had that little Bose 4-inch driver in there. Those were awesome. So yes, back then we had Bose speakers, but now manufacturers are like, oh no, we can put a 6x9, and Bose is like they're being reactive.
Got it.
So they're just applying their technology to these other speakers.
Mhm.
Sometimes they probably get influence in them. One of the things we know about General Motors as a company is that GMC does not want to put Bose in their trucks. They're being forced to by General Motors to do it. Chevy has the contract and
Mhm.
forces GMC to use that crap.
Right.
If it was up to them, they would get rid of it altogether and use freaking Harman or somebody else like that. But
I catch a name. Thank you.
I don't need a haircut. I just cut it last week. I need to shave.
You need to shave.
Yeah, I need to shave. That's my plan tonight. That's my big.
You wanna
That's my
get rid
big
of that
Saturday
one?
night event. What?
You want to get rid of that one?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Put up yours.
All right.
That object behind
what's
you, the
yours?
item is the new L7X quad box. They couldn't fit, so they'll yeah, plastic. Actually, the so it is behind you. Though. It's
Yeah,
half
I
the
mean,
woofer, but did you
Yeah.
see this one, Mary Lou?
Can they see? Yeah.
yeah. Nice. You're gonna put it here.
So this is. So did you see that? Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Well, let's remove this so they can see it.
Yeah. So everyone else is getting the actual whole woofer, but they only like us half as much as they like everyone else. So they were like,
No, they're your better half. On subwoofers.
no, I'll take it anyway. Either way. So they gave us half of the big dog. So that's it there. So
Very
it's
cool.
still freaking heavy, but yeah.
I was gonna say that looks heavy.
Oh God, it's so heavy.
This
This
is
is
very
so
heavy.
Yeah, go for it, muscles. Come on, man. Look, yeah, it's nothing for you. This ain't the gym. This ain't the
Pretty
gym.
cool.
Right?
Yeah.
I was begging for this. I was like, I want half the woofer.
It's heavy.
Oh.
It is heavy.
Yeah, it was cool. I just wanted it because it looked cool. Like
There you go.
10 years from now, it'll be really cool. I'm like, holy crap, you got one of those? I'll be like, yeah, bitch.
That's
With
it.
my cane and my hearing aids. Can't lift
That's
it.
very cool.
What should I do with the LC2i Pro where the radio has speed sense that cannot be disabled? I don't think I've ever run into anything where it can't be disabled.
What car?
Yeah, I was gonna say we need to know what car.
What radio or what
Random
car are you
Rich.
talking about?
Yeah, tell us what car, and we'll tell you how to disable it.
Yes, random rich. Follow up.
Ugh.
All right. You got one?
Let's try that one.
Question: when wiring the Helix director, do you wire to constant 12 volts or switch? Would think constant, and then it turns on when the Helix DSP turns on. I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea. I'd have to look at the instructions. It should say constant or switched on there.
Yeah, they give you the instructions for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's a yellow wire, it's constant. If it's a red wire, it's. But I think it's like a Phoenix terminal. So, and there again, Dean, Fernando. Next time I visit, are you guys going to invite me for?
Carne
Carne
asada. You're gonna bring the carne asada.
I was gonna say, I don't,
Yeah, pretty
I don't
much.
eat steak.
Yeah.
We can go to Hooters.
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's go.
They got buffalo shrimp. Their buffalo shrimp are spectacular.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, their service sucks.
All right, there you go.
All right, 2011 Infiniti M37 with 10-speaker Bose system. Have an audio control D800.4. Have Morel Ultra Tempo 6x9 components for the front. What else do I need to make it sound good with factory DSP?
Well, you need more channels.
Well, you need more channels. You got enough channels to power the 6x9s. That's
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you
So-
got 10 channels from the factory,
and you got 4 channels,
and
for
then you got 4
4
channels.
speakers.
Yeah.
So you're not summing that together. There's no interface for it. So you need to keep going.
So what you need is like a DMA 10 from audio control.
Well, that's only 8 channels. So it depends what you're trying to amplify. If you don't want to do the
mean-
rears, take the rears
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
You don't
But-
I
have
mean,
enough.
because I think that one has tweeters
It's probably
on
got
the
a center
rears.
channel.
Yeah, but at least you need something like with 10 channels.
Well, you need okay. So the reality is what you have. You came to us with that. We'd be like, we can't do anything with it.
Right.
It's not enough to do. It's not enough to deal with it. Even if you just did the front stage upgrade, where you take the D4.800 and you put it on the Morel Ultra 6x9 or Morel Ultra Tempo. Yeah, if you need to put it on the tempos, you still need something for that center channel, because the center channel is going to throw off. There's a ton of sound that comes through that center channel, and by amplifying the left and right, you're going to get a weird echo effect from it, and that's going to be bad. On some cases, we can take the output of the center channel and put it into the high front input on the D4.800, and then mix that input into left and right. But it's not the best way to do things. It just kind of fixes the echo issue. The best way to do it would be to re-amplify the center channel, bring it into the fold. So, yeah, you got to keep going. A DMA 10 would get you close, because a DMA 10 has 6 channels, 8 channels of stereo input and 2 channels of 6 channels of stereo input and 2 channels of mono input, so that you can bring a center channel
Right.
and a sub in.
Yeah.
If you do that, it's going to become a 911 for Dean and Fernando to fix, right?
What that?
If he does.
Hey, you know what, dude?
For
We've seen
some.
people do some really crazy stuff
Mhm.
in, like, brand new cars. Guy had a 2022 Toyota that he brought by the other day that he just went in there and cut the out of this car,
Mhm.
and he's
crazy.
like, he's got, and we're just like, he's like, and it had a JBL system in it, and we're like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I put some loud, it just sounds bad, and we're like, yeah,
Of course.
and then you tell them how much it's going to be cost to fix it, and they're like, what?
You guys
And you're
are
like,
crazy.
Mhm.
You guys are on crack.
Yeah, exactly. How do you properly set the gains on a powered sub for Rockford P500 by ear, or remove the sub? Just leave it all the way down. Believe it or not, the gain is utterly useless on that.
No.
We never adjust the gain, the frequency, or the bass boost.
They
all,
come like pre-tuned.
dude, that
like,
thing is
seriously,
so
that thing
ready to go.
just
It's a plug
power
and play.
ground, you signal, rock and roll.
Decide
That's it.
on what form of remote turn on you
Yeah.
need, and that's it. We have never,
High
it's
level,
like,
low level.
all we do when we put those in, high level, low level, remote turn on. Everything
That's it.
else stays all the way down. It never
You don't need
changes.
to turn it
'cause
up.
It is super efficient.
And you're gonna say
does
like,
not-
no, you guys are crazy, but no, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
That's done.
Now, every now and then, if we're using it with a radio, sometimes I'll go in and adjust
Just
the
a little
crossover,
bit, man.
turn it up to 80, just because I know it could use it. But other than that, gains are all the way down. Sorry for the silly question, guys.
Never a silly question.
If bass is omnidirectional and can travel through solid objects, not so much. How do you really separate the rear waves from the front waves? For example, trunculum to baffle. Okay. It's not, the waves can't travel through things because it's moving air. If you stop the air,
So I'm going to stay in there. in that area.
then you're not okay. So if a subwoofer hits a solid object, it stops. It can't pass through it. If it's a weak solid object, that solid object will start to move because this behind it is moving. So you get cavitation, but not in there again. That's where you get cancellation from, because it starts cavitating. But it's not like sound can travel through your seat.
Mhm.
It can radiate through the seat, but it's going to lose energy. So like if you take a subwoofer and you put it towards a 4-inch piece of foam and you measure on this side of the foam and on that side of the foam, it's not the same intensity. So it can't do that. The object of omnidirectional is that I can put it in the corner of a room and it'll fill the room. And that is because the bass wave is so large, meaning square footage, how long it takes for that that it doesn't really matter where I put it in the room. I'm going to hear it. But in a car,
Completely.
I mean, think about it. You're making a box out of wood. Okay. The wood is trapping the sound, the airspace, the air that the woofer is making inside of it. If that wasn't, it would just breathe. It'd be like a screen door. So there again, that's what you're doing is you're stopping the air, which is the sound.
Stopping the air. Awesome. I got the live. I watch
cut a
your
live
videos.
cast. I
Wow.
watch. Awesome. I cut a live cast. I watch all your videos for a while. Always have liked the info you guys put out. Thank you so much for the hard work.
I was just having fun going, what sentence is he reading?
Yeah, I know.
And you were thinking the same thing. Like,
Yeah, I was like,
what is he
which
doing?
one?
What? Where are you going with that?
He's tired today.
I know.
He's always tired.
Well, yeah, because he works a lot.
Oh,
Just like
whatever. Yeah,
You
but
both work a lot.
yeah, okay, he drinks
All right.
caffeine.
Hey, this is just...
I like to see a remark of the 15-inch Memphis LVS. How would I compare it to new Subarus? Man, I have no idea what a 15-inch Memphis
Really?
LVS.
You guys are old.
I have no
I
idea.
mean,
No,
nothing.
never seen it.
Never.
No. The only thing I know that's I talked
Wasn't
to.
it the Momo 15-inch Memphis?
We got
like
a 6.5
on the
over
90s?
there. Could have been. It wasn't my cup
That's
of
what
tea.
I'm thinking.
No.
I will
I
say
used to love
this.
Memphis. The
So-
Momo ones, I used to love them.
Memphis has a new distribution block coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it looks a lot like a distribution block that you may have seen before.
Really?
But what they did is half of it is that block, and the other half has 4 EXT outputs,
Oh, wow.
fused EXT outputs.
Mhm.
So it's about the size of your guys' 4,
Mhm.
but there's only 2 power, 2 ground, that block on this side, and then on the other side, there's 4 fuses for 4 EXTs or 3 EXTs.
Interesting.
Either way, I was like, oh shit, I gotta have one of those. He goes, right? He goes, I was putting the DSP in the trunk of my car, and I was like, I don't have a fuse. Where am I gonna fuse this thing?
Mhm.
We don't have a fuse holder for this. And I was like, yeah. He goes, so I made one of these, and I go, seems like a no-brainer, but apparently it is. If I follow your install diary videos and it doesn't work, do I get to bring it to you as a 911 and get it done for free?
For free $99,000 or 99 what?
No.
If you follow what we say, it works.
Hey, I follow
What?
what they did, and it always worked.
Well,
So-
okay, so I always equate car audio and photography because those are the 2 things that I do. And I can give you a camera, and I can tell you where to aim it, and I can tell you how to set it up, and I can tell you everything technically you need to know about taking a picture.
Mhm.
But you're going to sit down, and you're going to take that picture, and I'm going to look at it, I'm going to go, And in 20 people in a room that just learned the same thing are going to take 20 different pictures. And 3 of them are going to be good, 2 of them are going to be great, and the rest of them are going to be shit.
Mhm.
And it's just because not everyone interprets things the
We'll
same way.
understand
Even if
differently.
you know, it's like I remember when Haley was a kid and I'd say she'd want to draw something. I'd say, here's a picture of a giraffe, draw a giraffe. I don't know what the hell she drew. And I'm going, this
A
doesn't
giraffe?
this doesn't look like that. And I would draw a giraffe. And this is what it's supposed to. She's like, I can't draw that. I said, well, yeah, but what is this?
Her giraffe.
Yeah, no. It's kind of scary.
But it had giraffe still.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Well, besides, you guys don't place. You have to have a sense of knowledge of what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you just watching videos is not going to help because your videos are edited. You cannot show the whole thing of
Which
how
will-
long it takes.
Well, the time is one thing, but we try to get as many bullet points as we
Right.
can in all the videos. So
But
that, yes, if
the
you are
other half
watching,
has to come from us.
there is a certain amount that you have to have some general idea, and they're also
Thank you.
designed to tell you what's happening. But yeah, that part that's missing
Mhm.
is, I mean, the part that you don't understand or that you like, wait, no, is just the day-to-day of doing this for the last 32 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yay! Holy crap! Hey guys, can you
Yep,
shut that
yep.
off? Mary Lou, thank you so much for coming on. We know we gave you some crap about coming on the show. So
Every
It's
time.
always
you
a
were
pleasure.
like, when she showed up today, I go, yep. I knew she was gonna be here. I knew it. She's over there going, show him. I'm gonna show up. Bug him for hours.
Of course.
Thank you guys so much
For
for
days.
tuning in and playing along with us today. It's always
Thank you,
fun.
everybody.
Don't forget, Monday we'll be back to answer your questions. So if we didn't get
Okay.
to your questions today, don't worry. We'll be back Monday for you to ask us more questions. If you're interested in picking up some apparel, DNF Swag is a place
that a
you
new
can do
one?
that. What's that?
Is that a new one?
No, DNF swag.
That one.
No, they're
The
just
tank top.
no. It's always
No,
there.
it's always
Yeah,
there.
it's always there. And then somewhere on here is, there we go. DNF tool drawer is a place you can go and find all the cool tools you use, such as the tool that we make, which is the RCA2. If you're interested in upping your game and becoming the best installer that you can be, being able to see the signal that you're interfacing with, like you saw us do today.
Yes.
It's very
useful
important.
today.
Yeah, we
Very
were able to
useful
figure
today.
out what the hell was going on, and about when I go, nope, something's wrong. And we
Yeah.
threw that in there, and I go, yeah, that's a problem
And I
right
was
there.
gonna say, someone placed a question or a statement, more than that, a statement. He has watched so many videos of the F-150s
Yeah,
that he feels like he can just order what he needs and then that's that. No, it's not that simple.
if you'd like to order a plug-and-play kit for an F-150,
right.
check out Sounds
Good
Stereo of
in
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Sounds Good Stereo of Tennessee. Our
Sage.
friend Sage and the boys over there will pre-make you a package of plug-and-play F-150 goodness.
Yep.
That will
That will plug and play.
right in, and he will pre-tune it for you because they actually have an F-150 there that they test everything before it leaves. So if you're interested in picking up an F-150, and I will say this, just give you this guy right here.
Oh, that is cool.
So this is a Sounds Good. This isn't their amplifiers, but this is their amp rack for the F-150.
Mhm.
It's got these cool aluminum brackets. So they also sell the standalone brackets. They sell 8 pillars. They sell everything.
It comes with
Pretty cool.
everything. So if you actually interested, just give him a call.
And they're just friends
talk
of
to them.
ours. So, and they make really cool stuff. I
Nice
believe they
people.
carry Kicker and Moscone, Gladen, Focal, and a couple other brands.
I
So,
didn't know they carry Kicker.
Huh?
I didn't know they
oh
carry
yeah, they're a big
Pretty
Kicker
cool.
dealer. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
big Kicker dealer.
Nice.
So, and that's it, guys. That's the show. It's Saturday night. You know what that means?
It's a fight night.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to. No.
Hey, listen, if you're going to go out and have fun and party hardy, call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a friend that isn't partying with you and isn't partying somewhere else.
That's right.
Arrive alive so you can be back here Monday to ask us more questions. With that, you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Fade to black.